Hello, I'm Rex Litter with the Midday News. Kamkumung in Morobe Province is the first Ahi landowner village to lodge the Integrated Land Group application with the Lands and Physical Planning Department. This was made possible through the Kamkumung Land Mobilization Program, supported by landowner company Ahi Investment Limited.
Kamkumung is the first of the 6 Ahi villages of Morobe Province to submit their application to be registered as a certified integrated land group from the Lands and Physical Planning Department. The 8 clans of Kamkumung hosted a festive gathering on Wednesday, October 16, where Lands Minister and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso was invited. Ahi Investments Group Deputy Chairman Guy Galang described it as a milestone that the other Ahi villages of Butibam, Hengali, Wagang, Yanga and Yalu will follow.
With the leadership of the late clan, Kamkumung clan leader, Mr. Eisen, which he passed on, it was a blessing through him that we came this far, and now it's gone. It's passed on, but the generations in Kamkumung will really respect it. In Kamkumung, we're dealing with settlers, and there's big institutions there. So, like going through the clan boundaries, each clans will talk. There's so many things that against each other, but they all came together to understand each other to make the common boundary and also the clan boundaries.
Galang, as an elder of the Ahi villages, called on his people to organize themselves to properly register their land.
Now, as we understand, now as DPM has rightly mentioned it, they are selling it for 200 kina, 500 kina now, but in the settlement now, that's where there was an influx of people into the settlement now because of this cheap land being sold out. So as a Ahi leader, now currently with this exercise we're doing now, we just want to ask everybody, not only Ahi, but the rest of the Papua New Guinea landowners, not to sell their land.
Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
The Papua New Guinea Law Society, in conjunction with the Victorian Bar, hosted an informative seminar educating Papua New Guinea lawyers about the importance of drafting affidavits, pleading and written submissions. The seminar held is part of the week-long 25th Civil and Criminal Advocacy Workshop. Victorian Bar lawyer Kate Anderson spoke on the importance of the pleadings, saying lawyers must ensure that pleadings are properly constructed because pleadings determine what evidence may be presented at trial. She said often lawyers who do not formulate a good plea end up having their matters struck out.
About a shrink. Shrink is a word that means many other things, and some judges are old and crusty and they just don't understand up-to-date colloquial expressions, so the best rule is to just avoid them altogether.
The National Airports Corporation Limited and New Sky Pacific Limited on Wednesday signed a memorandum of agreement formalizing each other's commitment to collaborating on the enhancement of service delivery in their respective organizations.
Through the Memorandum of Agreement signed on Wednesday, the National Airports Corporation Limited and New Sky Pacific Limited will collaborate to share aviation data and pursue joint initiatives such as infrastructure development and capacity building.
For us at NAC, it's about building relationships, and I've said this since I came on board with NAC, is building relationships, partnerships, and data is critical to our business. We can't perform our business if we don't have the appropriate data in terms of what we're dealing with.
It's for the benefit of both organisations and the travelling public and the aviation industry at large. NSPL is in a very advantageous position. The systems and services that we provide generates a lot of data, and that data is extremely useful and can be used in lots of ways to the benefit of both organisations.
By sharing important aviation data and implementing joint initiatives through this MOA, both organizations aim to continue to improve their respective services for the benefit of the aviation industry, the transport sector, and the traveling public. This includes the protection of this data.
One of the things that NSPL is very careful on is cybersecurity. So we have robust cybersecurity systems in place to make sure that the services that we provide are safe.
The MOA also serves to formalize the cooperation that has already been initiated, with collaboration taking place for at least 4 to 5 months already.
We own the airport, and these guys control everything that comes and goes. And that was where all this discussion was prompted from, in making sure that we collect data so that we can take advantage of the information that is being shared, take control of our costs, because I was driving from a cost perspective, and I was looking at how we can drive additional revenue for the airline, for NAC. Sorry, I said the airlines because I came from there. So that was where it all stemmed from. And a lot of this information is being captured by NSPL.
NAC and NSPL state that the partnership signifies the commitment of both state aviation entities in positively contributing to the national government's development goals, specifically within the aviation industry and the transportation sector. The MOA will be effective for a period of 3 years. Maricela Kellerton, TVWAN News.
In overseas news, Australia will increase its missile defense capability after China's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile in the South Pacific raised significant concerns, and as the Asia-Pacific region enters a missile age. Australia plans to increase its missile defense and long-range strike capability and will cooperate with security partners, the United States, Japan and South Korea on issues of regional stability. Australian Minister for Defence Industry, Pat Conroy, said in a speech on Wednesday. Conroy said the region was on the cusp of a new missile age where missiles are also tools of cohesion. Australia is among several Asia-Pacific nations that are dramatically increasing defence spending. Abortion is legal rights across the country, but doctors fear an unspoken ban is robbing rural and regional women of the right to choose. An ABC investigation has revealed patients are being denied equitable access due to a range of reasons, including ideological positions, unclear guidelines, and a lack of government funding.
Melissa's carefully planned surgical abortion was upended by a phone call just hours before she was due to be admitted to hospital.
He just basically said, "I'm really sorry, we can't do the procedure today." I was broke down. I was like, "What do you mean you can't? What is that? Where does that leave me?"
On the phone was her obstetrician.
I could tell he was baffled by the whole situation and he didn't understand why it hadn't happened.
Melissa's surgical termination was meant to be performed here at Queanbeyan District Hospital in southern New South Wales. Her baby had severe life-limiting malformations. This hospital had performed the same procedure under similar circumstances before. But the ABC can reveal that since Melissa's experience, the hospital suddenly stopped providing surgical terminations for fetal anomalies and medical reasons. Melissa's GP says there's been no explanation of the late cancellation, despite repeated requests to the local health district. She fears an ideological opposition to abortion could ultimately be behind it.
It feels like you're shadowboxing, that there's a pushback and you're not really sure why, and that's very frustrating.
The local health district says it supports women to access abortion services, including medical termination of pregnancy. Doctors are calling it an unspoken ban. In Orange, the local members also seeking answers after the hospital there stopped providing abortions for non-medical reasons.
This is something that's permitted under law. It's a public health institution.
The local health district that oversees Orange has confirmed it is sending women seeking abortions for non-medical reasons to private providers or family planning.
The power lies with the Minister and with the Health Department, and it's really important that they ensure that this essential healthcare is delivered.
Melissa eventually had a medical abortion at her local hospital. Ultimately, though, she was denied the right to choose.
Voters in the U.S. territory of Guam will be the country's first to cast their choice for president on November 5th. But it will be a symbolic and democratically meaningless exercise, as the mainland gets to have its say on who will be president. An anomaly in U.S. law means Guamians are among the 4 million disfranchised Americans living in U.S. territories whose vote doesn't count. Guamians who relocate to the mainland automatically acquire full-pledged American status in a perplexing political anomaly that creates 2 classes of U.S. citizenship. People who live on the mainland and move back to Guam again become disfranchised. Other Pacific U.S. territories also affected by the law include Northern Mariana Islands and American Samoa. While the cost of living crisis continues to bite for all Australians, the local hospitality scene is particularly feeling the crunch. It's forcing restaurants and cafes across the country to close, unstable to survive challenging financial and labour conditions. With high inflation continuing, experts don't expect relief anytime soon.
In Brabenda has been serving Canberra's food scene for 8 years.
If we've lost those 2 tables now, we're going to have to at least cancel 1 section waiter.
But he says the industry has become unviable.
They already are harder than the COVID times. The next 12 months is going to be disastrous.
The hospitality sector is being served blow after blow. Rising costs, staff shortages and a drop in customer spending.
At the moment, it's 99% of it's just horrifically sad news. People closing, people downsizing, people considering pulling the pin. Bankruptcy it's become kind of the buzzword in hospitality at the moment for a lot of people.
According to the latest Creditor Watch report, hospitality businesses are predicted to have the highest closure rates of all sectors, with 1 in 11 expected to fail in the next 12 months alone. Miss Van's is the latest local restaurant to collapse, falling victim to challenging financial and labour conditions being felt across the industry. And it's unlikely to get easier anytime soon.
Inflation is remaining high. We do expect that in ACT that there will be more closures coming forward before we see the industry recover.
After closing his restaurant XO, Anand Kumar has chosen to take on these challenges the best way he knows how.
The whole idea of pivoting from a restaurant to a simpler offering, I think, is the resources and just working with the resources that I have, but still do what I can do, which is cooking and feeding people's tummy.
The cost of living crisis continuing to bite.
In sports, there was no better way to send off former Fiji Bati captain Kevin Naigama when Saturday night's Pacific Bowl Championship game was his swan song. Bati trashed Cook Islands 56 points to 6 at the HFC Bank Stadium, Suva, last Saturday in the second round of the Pacific Bowl Championship. The 35-year-old Nabuna Koro Lomai Taivi native represented Fiji in 3 Rugby League World Cup, captained 2 including the 2022 World Cup in England, where they lost to New Zealand 24-18 in the quarter-finals. He earned 24 caps for the Bati. He also won 3 NRL Grand Finals and 2 Super League titles. Naigama indicated that his next plan was to spend quality time with his family and reflect on his rugby league career. And that ends the Midday News. Thanks for your company. Bye now.